The Liberty Dollar, the Freedom Mint. All precious metal currencies linked by a common standard. It's called the American Open Currency Standard. Find out more and trade in your unbacked paper money for tradable precious metal. OpenCurrency.com. I own some. OpenCurrency.com.
You miss Texas a little bit?
Oh yeah, I miss Texas.
This time of year, maybe.
Wait till the snow starts falling.
Ron Paul's odd political bedfellow, Doug Wead, is continuing his crusade to draft Paul for 2012. And now he has a strategy for turning the run into a win. Believe it or not, this is actually a time-sensitive endeavor. Paul staffers say he will need to make a decision by the middle of 2009, a decision whether to run for president. Wead, who served in the Reagan administration, was also an advisor to both Bush presidents, but he became disillusioned with the GOP's increasing abandonment of conservative principles. He's produced a blog series answering objections to a Paul run and outlining a proposed strategy. He's calling for Ron Paul to throw nearly all his eggs into the Iowa straw poll basket. I'm with Wead on one issue at least. Paul must run. There is probably no one else available in the next 6 months to step forward and be the Liberty candidate. If he decides to start a run, he can always change his mind later. But if he decides not to, he will likely never get another chance. And that means you and I may never have another chance to live in relative freedom. Running keeps his options open and our hope alive. There's also a Zogby poll that's come out recently, trying to figure out who the front runners currently are in the Republican pack for 2012, and they show Sarah Palin on top of the heap. They were basically trying to find out where 7 different candidates stood in the polls, and one of those was Ron Paul. At least they listed him this time. That's good. Unfortunately, he was in the single digits. Of course, Jimmy Carter was at 2% in name recognition when he showed, right before he showed up at the Iowa straw poll. Now, speaking of the Iowa straw poll, I do have one uncertainty about some of Doug Wead's logic when he says that Paul should focus on the Iowa straw poll. He says Paul should focus on that because it's a contest where money can't really win it for you. But I think money is not really going to be a problem for Ron Paul. So I'm not sure why he would want Paul to focus on a campaign that favors someone with less money, or on a straw poll that favors people with less money. The rest of his logic seems pretty sound. He's saying that one of the advantages of winning the straw poll is that after the poll, you've got almost a full 6 months before anything else interesting happens. And so if you can win that, then you get a lot of media buzz for a long period of time. On the other hand, if you win, some of the other, primaries and caucuses, then they happen right before other big events. So the media doesn't focus on your win for very long. Anyhow, those are just some thoughts. My thoughts on the Ron Paul thing and the 2012 thing and the folks. Some of the things that other more important folks than me are saying. This is Dave Ridley signing out for RidleyReport.com. We're about to sign out this December 16th, 2008.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Ralph and Miko.
Nice to meet you.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by OpenCurrency.com. I own some. OpenCurrency.com.